That is one of the greenest sea urchin tree frogs I've ever seen. Wow, stunning. Look at that. They're so variable. Okay, I just found the first adult ringneck of the year. I've seen lots of juveniles. This one is a nice size. This is in Santa Cruz County. The ringneck snakes here tend to have these really vibrant orange bellies, almost reddish orange, as opposed to some other parts of the Bay Area where it's more of a yellow orange. So it's a cool little local variation. What a gorgeous snake. Okay, I'm just gonna go ahead and set this guy down right by the rock I found him under, and surely he'll crawl away on his own. Just flipped a rock and found 3 more ringnecks. One of them squiggled out of my hand and went back under the rock, but really cool. These ones are a little younger, you can see, a bit smaller. You can see they also musked all over my hand, but that's fine, understandable. They're scared. I'm gonna go ahead and let them go. So cool. Here's a nice little northern alligator lizard hanging out. I might try to get closer, but I thought I'd start filming now in case he bolts off. So let's see. There he goes. This is a western yellow-bellied racer. They're a colubrid snake, and they're diurnal. You can see the really big eyes, which is usually a good indicator of that. They are pretty reliant on vision, and they're very fast, good at chasing down other reptiles, like those fast western fence lizards. Here you can see where they get their common name. They have that bright yellow underside, the ventral side of the snake, and usually kind of an olive brown dorsal side with a little bit of green on the sides. This is the adult coloration. The juveniles usually have kind of a mottled coloration like a gopher snake or a rattlesnake. Here's a nice, beautiful adult gopher snake. He's out basking. These guys are often confused for rattlesnakes because of their similar pattern. And they'll also often flatten their heads, and their hiss is very raspy and somewhat resembles a rattlesnake's rattle in the sound that it makes. They'll also shake their tails in the grass very quickly. That's a common defensive behavior of many snakes, though. Most of them are quite placid. Really gorgeous. Here's a baby northern Pacific rattlesnake, just hanging out in front of this log here. This is a common hunting strategy for these guys. They're usually passive hunters, which will ambush their prey. So this is a good spot to hang out because often lizards will run along structures like this, and he's in a good place to ambush them. So obviously, rattlesnakes are not aggressive creatures. He wants nothing to do with me, and is hoping that I don't see it. Here's a really gorgeous young adult gopher snake, probably shed pretty recently. You can see how crisp that pattern is. Really nice, healthy individual. So, you can go right back under the board that he was using. Very nice. Alright, we have a juvenile northern Pacific rattlesnake sitting in the leaf litter here in dappled sunlight. These guys are really easy to miss if you're just walking by. This guy is on the side of a trail. I might actually move him a little more off the trail just so that he doesn't have any run-ins with people that might treat him poorly, or people who bring their dog on this trail when they're not supposed to. Look at the gorgeous coloration, though. Such amazing camouflage. I love how variable the patterning is on this species. This one's very pale, kind of creamy colored. Some are very dark, almost black. Just really nice. So yeah, didn't really need to pick him up or anything, just kind of coaxed him with a stick, and that lovely little snake will make its way on its own. Here's a really cool, pretty much completely patternless northern alligator lizard. Usually these guys have at least some bit of pattern, so this is a really interesting looking one. Seems to be kind of common in this area. He's gone. So, I think this is the first time a rattlesnake has actually rattled at me in one of my videos. Understandably, a bit upset. Well, I'll tell you what, I wasn't expecting the snake to be inside the log. That kind of was a little bit sketchy. Super cool though, look at that. I don't know how well you can see with the lighting, but he's not too happy either. So here's the juvenile rubber boa. These guys are really cool. One of the only boas in North America, and they are the northernmost ranging boa, going all the way up to Canada. Super cool. They don't get very big, and they don't have much of a color or pattern to gawk at, but they're really cool. And sometimes they're called a two-headed snake because they have this really stumpy tail. And they will actually coil up and put that at the top of the coils and move it around like it's their head when they are confronted by a potential predator, so that the predator will attack the tail of the snake rather than the head. And actually, it functions in as a defense against like parent rodents too, defending their offspring against a snake that might eat them. So, really cool. I'm gonna go ahead and let this guy go just where I found him. Awesome. Here's a nice big southern alligator lizard hanging out by the side of the trail. What a gorgeous, healthy looking adult. Here we are again with another western rattlesnake, being perfectly peaceful, sitting in the leaf litter like this. Just waiting for a lizard or a small mammal to run on by without noticing it, so that it can snap at it, give it a quick dose of venom, and then have a nice meal. Here's a really cool find. This is the Santa Cruz black salamander. It's a plethodontid, so it's a lungless salamander, pretty closely related to the arboreal salamander that I've shown in a lot of my videos, or in a couple of my videos I should say. These guys are so cool, just completely black. Look at that, beautiful animal. Since I flipped him on a kind of dry day, I'm gonna go ahead and pour some of my water, filtered water, under the rock he was under, so that I will hopefully aid his survival rather than cause some detriment to him. Such a beautiful animal. So, I saw this big gopher snake in the road, and I decided to pull pull over and take it off the road in case a scavenger decided to come and try to eat it. I didn't want that to get roadkill too. So it's generally good practice to remove roadkill from the road. It's a bummer. It was a really big, gorgeous snake. See my foot next to it, about 4 feet. But I also saw this guy in the road. He was on the side of the road. So it was lucky that I stopped, because it may have met the same fate as this one. So I'm gonna take him a good bit off the road because it's pretty busy out here. And hopefully this gorgeous snake won't meet the same fate as that one. That other snake could have very well been a potential mate for this one, so that's a bummer. But I feel good that I can at least release this one, and hopefully it'll stay away from the road.